Oh my goodness gracious. Coffee. Definitely a very necessary thing. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. Right. Man. Brain. Oh my goodness gracious. Brain, body, and everything else in between. Don't be doing that. Goodness gracious. There we go. Alrighty. Grab this up. All that fun shit. Also, kind of messed up in a way to where I don't think it'd be a big deal, but found out I was supposed to work at 2 today, not 3. I showed up like a minute or 2 after 3, and I don't know what it is, but I guess at least it's sound, Samantha's haven't said anything about any of this shit. Between this or like me sleeping for like 3 hours before lunch break. So if I ain't gonna say or mention anything, then I'm not worried about it. I know I'm 2 o'clock tomorrow, but I didn't know it was today too. Didn't realize that my weekend is basically working like 2 instead of 3, but whatever. Not a big deal. I just like woke up at like 2 thinking, all right. Should probably make sure I get up a little earlier for tomorrow, but not too bad, not too shabby. Go to work, see what's up, kind of, just chilling for a bit. I go in the back, look at the schedule, and I'm like, it's S2 for me today. Thank fuck no one called or said anything, basically, because, oops. But at least it ain't that big of a deal. I mean, if anything, if they mention something, I'll just be like, I just straight legit thought that it was 3, and Sunday was 2. But misread the schedule or misremembered it. So, whatever. I mean, they can't really be that mad at me about that. I'll just make sure to, be privy about it next time, but whatever. Maybe they're giving like a benefit doubt, being like, all right, if it happens multiple times, we'll ask him or tell him about it. But if it's like a one-off, I don't think they're going to care. They evidently haven't, for a few of my other one-offs. Burp. There we go. Gotta get this bad boy loaded up. Smoked up. In the lungs. If this stupid thing wants to work. Motherfucker. See if the butane helps. Just don't fucking explode in my face. There we go. Yep, filled up. Alright, there we go. Cool. Ooh. That's a good right there. That right there is good. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. My goodness gracious. I'm getting a message here. What is this message? What does it off say? Literally just question marks. Okie dokie. Just send a question mark back, I guess. Interesting. Get a message and it's literally just question marks. It's an enigma. I'm supposed to decipher, but no idea how I would be able to. I'll load up and all that stuff, and man, I am tired today. At least this time I didn't like stay up super fucking late with Loginos, but once I kind of realized what time it was, I was like, oh shit, it's 5. Need to sleep. Eventually, I ended up hitting hay. At least a better time than usual. So that was at least good, but still a little drowsy. A little bit, but not too bad. Ugh. The last night was definitely a little strange in a sense with the other guy from the bar and stuff, because he's at least for me, kind of an okay guy, but he's definitely got some interesting vibes, to say the least. But I'm afraid Logan doesn't really like him too much. He's just like, yeah, it's probably the last time I'm full on hanging out with him. I'm just like, eh. Don't necessarily blame you. I mean, honestly, just because, like, there's a few things that he, like was saying last time. I was just like, even for me, I was like, huh? It's like, you sure you know what to talk about? Or it's just like, also, like, that's a take. It's like, it was either one or the other. I'm just like, well, that's a take that someone just had. Or, like, I don't know if that's exactly how, things are, or like how music works and this and that or some shit. Like, because he had just, like, some really interesting views about things, sure. I didn't get too much of a chance to, talk too much about it, but definitely want to kind of explore that a little more about him and be like, it's like, the fuck you think? Like, what do you think about these things? Like, huh? Also, my friend Logan even pointed out that barely did a bump while I was there, and I was just like, what? Like, because I didn't see it or notice it, so evidently he did it where, it was just, like, being kind of sneaky about it, but it's just like, dude, what the fuck? That's another thing, too. It's just like, about him being a little weird. It's like, I don't really give a fuck that he does that. Just don't do it in here and ask about that. It's like, Jesus Christ. As Owen pointed that out, I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, I mean, that's a little extra. It's like I said, I don't give a fuck necessarily if he wants to. It's just like, I don't want that here. That was definitely like a little bit of a line cross moment. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to let you hang out here again. At least anytime soon. Because that was a little bonk. Supposedly, apparently, he almost got into like an altercation and had like a group of people from the bar like a couple weeks ago wanted to whoop his ass and shit about something. I think like trying to flirt with some dude's girlfriend or whatever. So it's just like, that's a little bit of bad voodoo. So I'm just like, don't know if I'll like, hang really close with him. I'll be nice with him, whatever, obviously, but probably will kind of try to keep my distance a little bit. Luckily, that's kind of the easy thing about, the karaoke bar, at least, is that it's not that hard to do that. Just hang out with another group of people. It's pretty easy to do that, but still. Come on. don't know why this one never like wants to fucking do messages like this. You know, you're on. Back here in a sec. Okay, there we go. There we go. I see what the message was about. I sent a picture of like this SRA sticker and stuff like from my gun safe, and it has the swastika with like 3 arrows going over it, like for it's like the anti-fascist symbolism, and he's just like, huh? He didn't see the 3 arrows to it, so it's like, is that a swastika? Like, what's up with that? I'm just like, dude, look closer, bro. Like, look a little closer, and you'll see that there's 3 arrows going over it. Which, to be fair, the 3 arrows are really red in comparison to the black, so it's a little hard to see. It should have been pink or something, so it stood out a little more. But whatever, it's there, and you know, if you're looking hard enough, you'll see it. Because honestly, even from like here from a distance, like I can kind of tell that it's there, but it's a little hard to see. So I can kind of see why someone might maybe just off glance be like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm also kind of surprised. There hasn't really been like too many like far right weirdos or like Nazis have been here in a minute, or like MAGA chuds that have been here in a fat minute. There was a few leading up to the election, but I think after post-election, they're all like, all right, whatever. Seems like they all kind of fucked off a little bit. So, from what I could tell. Though also, I've been noticing a lot of blame game bullshit on the other side happening a lot, and it's like, oh my god, I'm not surprised at all. This black man that fucking Don did it and Lucifer us. Especially protesters. It's like just dudes in general. It's migrants. We're gonna blame literally everyone but ourselves. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, seriously. Some people are just straight fucking not gonna be able to learn or have any sense of like introspection or reflection at all. There are just people out there that are just dead ass fucking incapable of it. Because it's like, hey, if we win, we're right, and if we lose, well, we're somehow right still. So actually talking to my coworker, because he asked me about my election thoughts, and I just did this. I was like, I got a lot of thoughts. And I even mentioned, it's like, I actually do stream sometimes, and I put a lot of my thoughts there and stuff, so maybe I can share with some of that. And he's like, oh, really cool. But I mentioned, like, yeah, I'm not really super shocked about everything, but at the same time, like, like, I really hope that the party actually can really learn from this type of shit, but I just don't think that's going to be possible. And one of his things, like, yeah, well, at the very least, they should probably not want to run a woman anytime soon. Not because, like, I want that, but just because, Americans and just obviously in general, we're kind of, like, misogynistic as fuck about shit. Because if we're like 0 for 2, so to speak, when it comes to trying to like run a woman president, even though there's been a lot of, women politicians on both sides that are in office or in governance and shit, it's like obviously, at least on a national level, ain't there yet, so to speak. And he was like kind of mentioning that, especially to his aunt, like, because he was mentioning about that, because I guess they talk some politics too. And she was just like, what? No. It's just about being right. You can't, like, just not do that. It's like you can't just, like, not run women. That's bad. No. It's like, well, if you keep fucking losing just because, like, they, at least in this case, when it came to Hillary or Kamala, like, if they're running shit campaigns, not a good idea to probably run them. That's just the facts of things. I mean, for me, I don't necessarily think it's just because they're women, but they are, but there are, like, an element of there, like, as a factor, it is at least an element. But when it comes down to like, in general, it's the fact that, people aren't feeling, the impact of the economy in their wallets outside of a negative way. And Democrats just didn't offer anything about that. Even if they lied about some shit, like as Trump did, like with the whole like, oh, we're not going to have, taxes on tips thing. To a lot of people, that's like, oh, that helps me with my, pocket. And, when it comes to the money in my wallet a little bit. All right. It's at least something. Is he going to do it? Fuck no. But at least it's something. I mean, or even like the whole weird tariffs thing instead of income tax shit, which, oh my God, that'd be stupid. But again, at least it's something, that he's saying, and it at least gives people to at least like think about like, all right, well, there's some shit here. Is it good? I don't know, but it's something. Let's try it out, I guess. That's how people feel about it. Is it good? No. But that's why, Democrats especially need to focus on that shit. They need to at least have some element of economic populism in their fucking messaging. And in 2020, they really need to fucking like focus on Social Security too. Because that shit, regardless of what happens with Trump and gutting Social Security or even taking it out, like that's going to expire in 2031 anyway. So that needs to be a major talking point just in general, like period. And they need to make it like a first and foremost kind of thing. And frankly, even argue about like, and push forward the idea of just codifying it as like, just a part of like basic social service that is funded every fiscal year with our budget. Just like keep a money flow going to it. And, so then it doesn't get fucking, this bullshit where, oh, well, it might expire unless we, renew the budget for it and then just wait like another 30 years for it and maybe expire again. And that depends on if the administration actually is willing to do that. Like, that is bullshit. Like, we shouldn't have to worry about that. I was even talking to like one of the old KJs, Ed, that was at the bar last night, and even he's just like, man, it's like I'm gonna make sure that Social Security stays, as much as I can fucking, take. And I used to be back in in the Army and service back in like '82 and shit, blah blah blah. Like he was kind of popping off a little bit. And I was just like, based. He's like, It's like, I'll be goddamn that orange bastard is good to take my Social Security, and took a sip of his drink, and I was like, fucking based. It always makes me happy to know there's a, where, I like find a good boomer like that, where I'm just like, hey, fuck yeah. Probably wouldn't necessarily be too surprised if like his parents, maybe like, were part of like the Civil Rights Movement and maybe like kind of, got, kind of taken up on that a little bit and then, joined the service after like that would, during the 80s. What was going on then? Not really much, at least when it comes to like American affairs, unless maybe Panama, I guess. But he never mentions about like anything outside of just like he was in it. So I'm assuming he probably just was like in like West Germany or some shit. Probably just stationed off in Europe and all that. Well, actually, I know that for sure because he recognized my East German uniform a little bit. He's like, "Oh shit, didn't know you were into collecting memorabilia stuff." And asked him if he recognized it. It's like, yeah. I was like, "Oh yeah, I do." I was like, "Oh shit, hell yeah." I'll go. You little bane. You really like to be a sleepy, lazy little thing. Goofball. Finn's asking for like stream ? Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm grabbing him. Okay, there we go. Oh fuck. Oh goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. Keep pressing buttons. Yeah. That's definitely nowhere near as groggy as I was earlier. So that's a good. That feels nice. Blah, blah, blah. Man, oh man. Doggo, you little Bane. And you always have to hide yourself away like a little shrimp. Lobster hiding under a rock. Why must you be that way, huh? Goofy little turd. You Bane. I swear to Lord, if you close that door on yourself, okay, yeah, I guess you don't. Still being an emo boy, though. Goofy ass little dog. Hope he knows he's getting a little bath after our little adventures tonight. He's gonna have to deal with that and suffer. Just have to suck it up. That little doggo's just gonna have to suck it up, Buttercup. Little Bane. Actually, I need to kind of re-up on some shampoo, so actually be a good idea for me to make sure I do that before I, get off work too. Before I go for the karaoke bar and all that shit. We'll say at least tonight's gonna be easy as fuck. Like one of the springs for the lid on our fryer broke, so it hasn't been used that all today. Outside of maybe like once or twice, so I just was like, all right, fuck it, I'm just turning it off. I'm not even gonna attempt to deal with that shit. And just been using one fryer, so I'm just gonna whip that bitch up and then just pretty much have that side done. And now it's just to be floors and dishes and shit. Now I just have to wait for that once we close things up. I'm gonna be bored for the last little bit of work. Oh my god, I just realized that. I do need to catch up on some ideologies though, so that'd be good. I have a little something. And some onion nuggets. I need to catch up on that too. I did catch up a little bit last night, as I go in bed, eat my burrito, and there was this absurd video that we'll definitely have to look at that made me like have a collapsed lung. I swear to God, it was insanely hilarious. It was an Elmo that basically was getting jolted up with a bunch of insane volts. Like first it was normal voltage, and then they went up to 8, and then they went up to like 12, and then they went up to like 30 or some shit. And this thing, oh my god. It's hard to explain, but oh my fucking god. It's too much. It was way too fucking much. I'm just thinking about it now and it's making me laugh. Oh my god. We gotta find it. We're gonna have to at some point. Might be able to do that at the karaoke bar actually, like once the karaoke's over with, because then I can just like fucking use the Wi-Fi with my other phone and then just play it there. That'll work. See a little time check here. It's about getting to that time. At least top off my last little bowl here. Well, actually first. My Telegram chat is like popping the fuck off. Bruh. Jesus Christ. Guess I'll have to see what my friends are talking about. Because they're just going off. this all loaded up and get myself off back to work. Then little emo boy can go back to his chair and be a little goof. Because that's ultimately what he wants. He just wants to sleep there. I had to literally drag him out of the damn thing to get him in here. And honestly, I don't even see a point anymore because he just doesn't want to move. It's like, upset your dad, fuck you. I know you're at work. There's no reason for this. Goofy little Bane. He really is like a cat dog. It is absurd. Alright. Let's call it good for now. Now, of course, be back a little later for some karaoke and all that fun shit. So, peace out, toodaloo, and all that fun shit. Blah.